guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Gianna. I'm the CEO of Jane and Shay LLC. Subscribers, thank you for returning, and those of you who are not subscribed, click that button down below just so you can get with the flow, and click the notification bell as well so that way you're notified every time I post and make a video. Okay, if you haven't already figured out by the title, today's video is about starting a CBD business. So for my last few videos, I've already told you that Jane and Shay is a CBD based skincare body care brand. We provide beard care oils, beard butters, body butters, skincare products, all those good things, right? So I kind of wanted to give you the ins and outs, or the nitty gritty of starting a CBD business. So I've been in the marijuana industry for about the last 6 years. I originally started with THC, making edibles and meals and drinks and snacks and things like that. But I ventured off into CBD about a year ago. And I'll get into like my journey and my backstory and everything like that a little bit later on in the video. But I just felt like I needed to post something or just share some information, just because when I was starting my business, there's not a lot of things available. And there's not a lot of information targeted to what I was specifically looking for. So I felt like I was doing research nonstop and calling this person and that person and trying to find just like a business coach. So just to try to like ease your process into starting a CBD business, I just have a few things that I want to talk about. And if you see me looking down, that's why, because I have them in my notebook. Okay. So the first thing is identifying what kind of CBD business you want to start, right? Are you selling edibles? Do you want to do a dispensary? Are you doing topicals, right? That's important, mainly because that determines what kind of laws you need to follow, what kind of accounts you need to have, what kind of merchant processing accounts will be working with you. That also determines like how you'll be sourcing your CBD and where you'll be getting it from. So for instance, I originally said I started doing edibles, right? So when I started doing edibles, I was making my own oil, CBD and THC oil, and I was sourcing my stuff from dispensaries. You have the option of choosing to do oils. You can do powders, you can do isolates, you can do topicals, you can do creams, things like that. So it's really thinking about what kind of CBD business you want to start, right? Do you want to do body care? Do you want to do like healing salves and things like that? Are you looking to add CBD to your repertoire as a chef? Like, do you want to add that into your meal prep plans, right? Are you looking to open a dispensary? Are you looking to provide products for pets? Because yes, they got CBD products for pets too. Apparently dogs and cats need relief. Okay, so you want to think about what kind of business you want to start first, right? Also consider why you want to start this business. Please be mindful. In any aspect of entrepreneurship, it is hard, okay? You're not going to see a huge turnover right away. So please make sure you're passionate about whatever it is that you're starting, right? So when I originally started my CBD business, it's because I have this goal of helping others, right? There's a lot of people experiencing pain, aches, nausea, cancer, chemo, skin illnesses. There's a lot of things that people are experiencing regarding their health, right? And when I first started doing the CBD edibles and food and meal prep, I wanted to be able to access those people who are relying heavily on like pharmaceutical medications. I honestly feel that with CBD, you know, it's natural. You cannot get addicted to it. Okay, you cannot overdose on it. And it has tons of healing properties. I mean, marijuana has been around for centuries. And people have been using it as a healing source for centuries. And so I just strongly believe that we don't need to rely on pharmaceuticals. And that may be my opinion. That's fine. Everybody else may think that we need to go to the drugstore and get that and get this and get that. But CBD has been proven to help huge illnesses for instance, epilepsy, right? People with seizure disorders, sorry. People who have had Parkinson's disease, people who have Tourette syndrome. It helps with PTSD. It helps with weight loss. It helps with all of these things. And it's been scientifically proven to help, right? So that was the reason why I got into this business, because I want to help. Originally, I was a teacher. And as a teacher, you want to educate and you want to help the young youth and make sure that they're better than you. But in the same aspect, I still want to help, right? So that was the real reason why I started the CBD business, because I want to be able to help people, right? So you want to think about, first off, why are you starting this business? What is it that you want to get out of it? What is it that you want to provide? What is it that you want to do? Boom. Then think about what kind of CBD business you want to start, right? Are you going to do edibles? Are you going to do meals? Are you going to do topicals? Are you going to do skincare? Are you going to do pet treatment products? Whatever. The list goes on of what you can do with CBD. Okay. Please be mindful, I'm also not a doctor, so I'm not going to steer you in the direction of trying to heal the world through CBD, because I cannot legally tell you to do that. Okay. Excuse me. Part 2 is finding sources for your CBD, right? Excuse me. Basically, where do you want to get your CBD from? And that ultimately goes in with number 1, what kind of CBD business do you want to have? Because then you have to think about, like, okay, where am I sourcing this, right? So for me, I do skincare. I do body care products. So essentially, I started making my own CBD oil, like infusing CBD flower into fractionated coconut oil and making my CBD oil that way. But I just felt like it wasn't the purest form of CBD. It's more of a full spectrum. It's more of a full spectrum oil as opposed to an isolate, right? When you just have nothing but CBD in your oils, which is not necessarily an issue, but the process behind it was tedious. It was a lot. I was like, no. So originally I was infusing my own CBD oils. I was getting my flower from like a hemp lab in Brooklyn. But now I'm purchasing CBD isolate, which is just like the purest form of CBD. It's about 99.4% pure. There's no other cannabinoids present within the CBD isolate. And I just infuse that into my fractionated coconut oil just because I just know it's a pure form of CBD oil, right? So think about what sources, how do you want to sell the CBD? So there's several options, right? There are companies that allow you to private label or to drop ship, which basically means that they will do all the legwork for you. All you have to do is provide them with like a PNG or a JPG file of your logo, send it to them, say, hey girl, this is what I want on the products. They'll put it on there, and then people would be essentially ordering from your website, but they would be sending the products out from their warehouse. So you can drop ship CBD products, right? They have bath bombs, they have gummies, they have shampoos, they have body balms, whatever you can think of, right? You can totally drop ship CBD as a selling mechanism if that's what you want to do, right? Or you can open a dispensary. Now, I don't really have a lot of information on opening a dispensary, mainly because that's not what I do. But I can help you guys. I can figure some things out. I actually know some people on the West Coast who can give you some more tidbits about that, and who can give you like some financial advice if that's what you really want to do. But so drop shipping, you can have somebody else provide the CBD for you, right? Sources of your CBD flower. So like I said, originally I was making my own CBD oil, and I was getting my flower from a hemp lab in Brooklyn. It's literally called the hemp lab. That's what it's called, the hemp lab. It's in Brooklyn. So I was getting my CBD flower from there and just infusing my own oils. But like I said, it was a little bit tedious, and I just felt like I needed a quicker process. Be mindful, infusions, oil infusions take a minimum of 3 hours, and sometimes I need quick results, right? So the next option is CBD isolate, and that's what I started using, isolate powder. I don't really have a lot left, but this is what it looks like. Can you see it? It comes in a 10-gram jar, so it's 1,000 milligrams per gram, so it's about 10,000 milligrams, obviously. So it lasts a long time. You don't have to use it often. So I would infuse my coconut oil with the isolate powder. It's a quicker infusion, takes about 20 minutes as opposed to a 3-hour process. And it's purer. It's 99.4% CBD. So I don't have to worry about any cannabinoids sitting up in my oil, right? If I want to advertise a pure form of CBD, okay? So you have drop shipping, you have the CBD flower, you have CBD isolate. There's also CBD oils. Now, excuse me, there's tons of companies out there. Obviously, everyone's jumping on the CBD bandwagon. Tons of companies out there that are offering already infused tinctures and oils for you. So honestly, I'll leave that information in the description box below if you're looking for already pre-made infusions, so that way you don't even have to go through that process. But that's another way where you can source your CBD. So oils and tinctures, right? Third step. Sorry, I'm like Brutman from the Fifth Flow. Third step, which probably should have been number one, determine your laws, your CBD laws within your state. It's not as like restricted as THC, because obviously it doesn't have the psychoactive properties, so you don't have to worry about getting people high. But it still has medicinal properties, which have not been yet approved, you know, by FDA. So you want to make sure that within your state you're following your state regulations. You don't want to do too much and go overboard and your business gets shut down. So definitely research first. What are the state laws regarding CBD within your area? When it comes to New York City, we're pretty lenient. I mean, my bodega sells CBD gummies, so I'm pretty sure everybody else can sell it. It's more of a thing of infusing foods, like having meals that they're not really like too fond of. But when it comes to oils and things, we have a laxed law when it comes to CBD. So just make sure you know your laws. It's very important. Very, very, very important. Also, when it comes to laws, you want to know your taxes, like what taxes should be paid according to your state. That's just in general. That's not even just like specifically with CBD, but that if you're an incorporated business, you just want to make sure you know your taxes, like what taxes you need to be paying, what laws you need to be abiding by to make sure your business is still standing. Okay. So number 4 says, now that you've researched your laws, you've thought about what kind of CBD business you want to offer, you've thought about where you want to get your CBD from. I mean, now you can name it, right? I feel like that should be a step. Honestly, a lot of people, when it comes to their business, they may name their business first and then do everything after. But I literally named my business maybe 2 months after like deciding that I want to start a business, right? It was like a random conversation with my sister. I'm like, oh, you know, I need a name for this. It's like Mary Jane and Shea Butter. Like, what am I doing with this? Boom, Jane and Shea. Woo! We was like, oh my God, greatest thing ever, Jane and Shea, right? So it's really about getting the legal things done first, making sure you can actually start your business, right? Finding out where you're going to be sourcing things from, because that was a obstacle for me. And then actually naming it. And I felt like naming it was like a finalization. Like, yes, okay, you know what? This is what I'm going to be doing. I know I'm going to be starting this business. I'm going to actually like put my all into this, right? So once you name your business, right, now it's time for incorporation. And the reason why I say that, many small businesses don't automatically get incorporated, obviously, because it's like tax purposes that you want to avoid. Maybe you just want to like keep all the money to yourself. I don't know why people do what they do. But this is the 3rd business that I've started. When it comes to CBD, marijuana in general, I just wanted to make sure I was doing everything by the book. Literally by the book. And so I incorporated. Now, please do not be like me. So do as I say and not as I do, okay? I applied for my EIN number before I applied for my LLC. Don't do that. Why? Because I put the wrong name in my EIN and it didn't match the name that was in my LLC. But glory be to God, I was able to fix things and that was perfect. But don't be like me. Don't do that first. First thing you want to do is apply for your LLC. Or if you want to do an S corporation or a partnership or whatever, but you want to be incorporated, okay? Mainly because if something happens to your business, it's not coming out of your personal funds, it's not coming out of your personal taxes or what have you. They're not coming for your personal life if something happens with your business. So you want to incorporate. That's number 1. You also want to incorporate because without having some type of like EIN number or registration with the government. You can't even really open a bank account. And that's necessary because you don't want to intertwine your personal funds with your business funds, because you'll never know if you're making a profit, and then you'll just be recycling money out of your own pocket. Like, that just doesn't even make sense to me. Okay, so incorporate. Okay, apply for your LLC first, then apply for your EIN. And honestly, you can do all of this yourself. Let me tell you a secret. I had originally had an account with LegalZoom, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna have everybody else do it for me because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to do anything wrong. I'm gonna just pay this extreme amount of money for them to do what I can do for myself. Excuse me. When I realized that I can do it myself for free, or not even for free, but a fraction of the cost, I immediately canceled my account with LegalZoom. Incorporating on your own is extremely easy, like extremely easy. You just have to have patience, and you just have to read. Like, you have to read the fine print. You can't just be like, oh, da 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 da, sign. No, you have to just read. So the first thing I did was apply for my EIN, but don't do that. First thing you do, apply for your LLC or whatever type of incorporation you want to have. Again, partnership, S Corp, C Corp, limited liability partnership. Whatever it is that you want to do, whatever you feel like is beneficial for your business, that's what you apply for. I apply for LLC. Boom. Apply for your EIN. After you apply for your EIN, you can literally get it within the same day, like within the next 5 minutes. Don't apply for the application to be sent via mail, because then it'll take like 2 weeks to actually arrive to you. There's an option for you to do it like online, do everything online, process everything online. And they send you your EIN number right away. So that's exactly what I did. And then that's when I realized I didn't put the same thing. Anyway, I got to figure it out. Long story short with that, you can just put under your LLC that you'll be doing business as whatever your EIN name is, if you happen to butcher it and be like me, because that's what I do. Okay, cool. Next step is getting a registered agent. Now, see, that's why I thought LegalZoom was important, right? I needed somebody to tell me what I was doing, to tell me how to file this document, tell me where this document's supposed to go. But paying for a registered agent was cheaper than paying for LegalZoom. So be mindful. Incorporating in the state of New York to get your LLC is only $205. Your EIN is free. To get my registered agent, and I'll leave the link below for who I use as my registered agent, it's $49, I believe, for the entire year. So, what is that? $254? Yeah, well, yep, that's how much it costs. That's exactly how much it costs. If it was $254, $255, $256, it's in that ballpark range. I'm not a math teacher. I was an English teacher, not a math teacher. So, that took me no time. It was literally like a 30-second application, maybe not 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. Fill out the application, basically tell them what it is that you're going to be needing help with. Like, what services are you going to be expecting them to provide for you? And then you're approved. You just press pay at the bottom, and then you have a registered agent assigned to you, and voila, boom. So then you can go onto that site, and then on that site, they'll tell you like, okay, at this point, you need to send this document out. You need to send that document out. You need to send this document out. And they're already basically pre-filled for you. You just have to print them out, sign it, and send it right back to them. Like, it's extremely easy. Extremely easy. So I felt like it was just cheaper. I mean, when we're starting a business, you don't want to put all your coins out immediately, especially if you don't have to. So why not save money on incorporating? I don't know any free ways to actually do it, but it works, right? You want to submit your articles of organization. And the reason why I say that needs to be submitted to the state in order for you to actually be like a real incorporated business. That's like your agreement to them that, hey, I exist. On top of that, you also want to create a articles of agreement. Or it's for your business. So basically, if you have employees, this is how the business is going to be functioning. This is how we're going to be making decisions going forward. If someone was to get fired, here's what was going to happen. Like, it's basically a contract of how your business is going to be running. Okay. The last thing that you want to do as far as your CBD business is concerned is get lab testing. Get lab testing. Why? I'm gonna tell you why. It makes you look secure, right? People are skeptical about CBD. People are skeptical about marijuana in general, right? But if you have a lab result stating like, okay, so I've gotten my oils tested, I know that it has this much amount of CBD and this amount of grams, like you just seem very sure of your product and of your business and of your brand, right? So you need to get lab testing. You also need to get lab testing mainly because your merchant processor, well, my merchant processor required me to have it. So I had to get it. But I was able to find a site where they did your first test for free. No matter how many vials you have, but I only sent one. I sent like one big vial. But they did your testing for free. So I'll leave that link down below if you're also interested in getting your CBD tested, just to make sure you know the purity of it. Don't be upset if there's THC present unless you're only trying to offer a CBD isolate product, because then you'll have a broad spectrum. Full spectrum. And they both have medicinal benefits. So that also depends on when you get your CBD from. That goes back to like step number 2 or 3. Who's going to be your vendor? What type of CBD are you going to be getting? Because sometimes with your flower, right, you still may have THC present within your CBD flower. So you have to be very mindful of that. Very, very, very mindful of that. Okay. Business bank account. Now, I've heard stories about marijuana businesses trying to get bank accounts and it just wasn't working. I've also heard stories about people just having tons of success. I guess it depends on where you're at, what you're trying to do, what kind of business you're trying to open. Now, being that I'm not trying to open a dispensary or anything like that, and I'm only doing skincare, it wasn't a problem for me to open a business bank account. However, I also decided not to go with a hugely known branch. So like I didn't go with like Chase or Wells Fargo or Citibank, because I didn't want there to be any possibility of a problem, right? I just was like, you know what? I'm just go to the small little bank in my neighborhood. It's been there for years. It's like a mom and pop. It's not a mom and pop bank, but you know, it's just one of those small little neighborhood kind of things. So I went there, Santander Bank. They're great. Opened my business account within 2 days. Got it approved. It was literally no issues whatsoever. Like, my bank account was easy. Open a business bank account was easy. Starting my LLC was easy. All of those things were easy. The difficult part of all of this, not the research, not figuring out what kind of CBD I want to sell, not figuring out who's going to be my niche market, like none of that was difficult. The difficult part is my merchant processor. Because CBD is fairly new to the world, no one knows like the legalities of it. They don't know how to process things. Nobody just knows. They don't know nothing. Don't nobody know nothing. Everybody's just confused. I don't know. So I did my website with Wix. Now, this is not a jab at Wix or anything, because I love my website. I think it's beautiful. But they only give you 2 options to have a merchant processor. Now, if you are like technology, I can't even say the word. Look at that. Special. I am not tech savvy. I'm completely retarded and illiterate when it comes to technology. And I don't know how to code besides doing like the MySpace things back in the day. And making a website is much more than just that MySpace, HTML, bold, blah, blah, blah. So I can't use another merchant processor because I don't know how to like code them into my website. So Wix only provides you with Square and with Pinwheel. Square don't like me. Whatever. Pinwheel, I've been working with them for the last, 18 years, it feels like. It's only been 4 weeks, but it feels like half my life, okay? They literally want to know everything. So the reason why I tell you to get all of these things done now is so that way, if you happen to deal with a merchant processor like mine, you'll just have all of your things prepared. So you want to have your lab testing. You want to know where you're sourcing your CBD from. You want to know why you started this business. You want to have an idea of what kind of products you're going to be creating, because if you're going to be creating skincare products, you have another step, right? It's not just like, okay, I'm going to produce the product and this is going to be great. Now you have to make sure your skincare products are following cosmetic regulations when it comes to labeling, right? Because everyone who does skincare or body care or hair care, whatever you want to call it, cosmetics in general, you have to have INCI proper names on your labeling, right? Do you know how annoying it is to have to provide all of these things? And to me, it's like minute, because it's like, okay, well, I already know I need this for my label, and I already know I need this for myself, right? I need this for myself to be a business. But the fact that I have to give it to my merchant processor and to still be having difficulties, it's just beyond me. Just beyond me, okay? So just a tidbit, if you do decide to go into this route of opening a CBD business, one, I would probably say look for a merchant processor who can help you start your business, right? Because you don't want to be in a state of limbo where you can't take payments or you can't process anything because it's a Monday. Like, literally, I can go on and on about the foolishness, but I will be respectful and I will be nice, because God don't like ugly, okay? But you want to just make sure that you're heavily prepared with everything, right? So even though CBD is not that new, it's not that new. Marijuana has been around for years, right? But starting this business, you just want to make sure you're doing everything properly, so that way you don't have any delays on anything, right? You want to just take into account who your audience is going to be. You want to take into account what type of CBD you plan on offering to people, what kind of business you want to have, things like that. I honestly think that I've covered everything. I don't want you to think that I'm like rambling, because I might get to that point. So I have to stop myself before I go on a tangent about foolishness. Okay, so Lo siento, I'm sorry. But yes, when it comes to your CBD business, just make sure you have everything in place. Make sure you write down everything in your notebook before you even go to your banker, before you even go to your accountant, before you even go to GoDaddy.com to even open a website. Just make sure you have everything written out and planned out, because it'll just be much easier to kind of like hit target problems, right? If you don't know what do you want to offer, you're already going to be stuck. You're going to be looking at everybody's CBD. Oh, they got oil. Oh, they got tinctures. Oh, they got this. Oh, they got that. You just want to have like a funnel, a sound, straight vision of what it is that you want to accomplish with the CBD business, and then work from there, right? So I'm hoping that I was able to help you with some of these tips. And with some of my struggles, because I am still currently struggling with my merchant processor as well. And to kind of like get around that, I've been doing sales. Well, because my market is different, I can sell differently. So the website is not like stopping me. It's just like, guys, I just want it to work. But my market is different, so I can reach people differently other than the website, right? But you just want to make sure you have everything put into play before you even think about like applying for a bank account, applying for a merchant processor, applying for this, applying for that, because you don't want your business to be delayed, and you know you want to be as successful as possible. So do your research. That's important. That's like step one above everything. Do your research. Okay. Think about what type of CBD you want to offer. Think about your market. Who's your audience? Why are you offering the CBD? What is your purpose of being in this business? Why are you here? Why do we need you? Right? And then from there, just think about how you're going to grow your business. What are you going to be doing? What is your marketing strategy? What is this? What is that? I know I didn't get into that, but there goes the tangent that I said I needed to not see. You know what? I'm gonna leave it here on that note. I thank you for watching. I will be recording another video on the benefits of CBD. It'll be short, just so that way you kind of understand a little bit more. Some things on the internet is like hard to get through, and I feel like this is an easier environment, right? So yeah. So thank you for coming back. Thank you for watching. Again, make sure you subscribe at the bottom. Click that notification bell so you know every time that I post. And I will see you guys later.